Representative Brendan Boyle, Democrat from Pennsylvania, who wrote in an op-ed in today's Philadelphia Inquirer that you've got to stop worrying about the speech. Am I correct, Representative, and instead worry about Iran?
Yeah, nice to be with you. That was exactly my point, that as much attention as the soap opera of the speech has gotten, what really matters is what we're going to do about the possibility of a nuclear Iran, which, as the Prime Minister laid out, already controls, if you include Tehran, 5 capitals in the Middle East now. That's the more important issue. And if we can kind of, get off from the food fight and actually pay attention to the thing that will have consequences over the next 10, 20, 100 years, that's where I would rather shift my focus and my energy.
I'm very interested to know, because some Democrats did not show up to this speech. Did it feel awkward to you? Did you feel badly that you weren't standing with them and boycotting the speech? What was that like for you?
Well, no. First of all, it's unfortunate Speaker Boehner put those of us who were very strongly pro-Israel and Democrats in this position. But nonetheless, the vast majority of Democratic members did decide to attend the speech. My only concern actually was the proximity to the fact that we're only 2 weeks away from the Israeli election. I wouldn't want an incoming Israeli prime minister, if there's a different one, to think the U.S. was taking sides. But be that as it may, when you consider that against the importance of the U.S.-Israeli relationship, when you consider the importance of the issue that we're discussing, I think that far outweighs any concerns about the timing of the speech.
We're a business network, and people might be saying, what is the business question here? There are more Israeli companies listed on the NASDAQ, I don't know if you know this, than any other foreign country, including China. This country matters to our economy. We've got the Israeli company here, SodaStream, 3D Systems, Cellcom Israel. People are really missing the point sometimes when they look and think that this is just a tiny nation. We're calling it the small nation, the mouse that roared. And that would be Benjamin Netanyahu.
Well, it's such a great point. And when I was in Tel Aviv 2 years ago, I was touring so many Israeli companies that do business with my home state, Pennsylvania, that do business with Wisconsin, that do business with every part of the country. So the Israeli economy is incredibly important to the United States, and so this actually does affect things more than just the narrow confines of foreign policy.
Representative Boyle, are you worried about any political blowback? You are a freshman representative, and in a way, you're not standing with a Democratic president. Does that concern you at all, or is your first mission your constituents?
I believe the first mission is to do what I think is right in my district. That said, I would, just to clear the record, the White House hasn't attempted to put one iota of pressure on me or I think any other Democratic member. And I've had a good relationship working with them, working with their folks here on Capitol Hill. So again, I hope that my op-ed in the Philadelphia Inquirer, and I partnered with a Republican freshman on that, it was our way of saying, let's stop the nonsense about his speech and let's actually focus on, my God, a nuclear-armed Iran would be a disaster for the United States, a disaster for Israel and the world. And I think we want to, focus more attention on that issue and whether or not this deal makes sense for the U.S.
Given the choice, yes. And it was Ryan Costello with whom you wrote this op-ed. I recommend everybody go on Philly.com. That's where you can find Brendan Boyle's op-ed with Representative Costello. It's an important voice here. Thank you so much for getting in front of our Fox Business cameras. Anytime, Representative Brendan Boyle, Democrat from Pennsylvania.